Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Today we're going to be discussing the energy that will be prominent beginning tomorrow, the 21st of February, and going through the weekend. As we get started this week, the U.S. really has something to notice. The U.S. Pluto Return occurs on the 22nd, which I believe is Tuesday. And the Pluto Return of the United States, or the Pluto Return in general, is when Pluto returns to the exact time and place where something initiated, or at the time of a natal chart. So the U.S. natal chart would have started on January 4th, 1776 in Philadelphia. And interestingly enough, the Pluto return for the United States is on Tuesday. So this tells me that this is the exact place where Pluto will be, returns to the sky where it was when the Declaration of Independence and the United States was formed. So what this tells me, the Pluto is restructuring, regeneration, transformations, and so I do believe that things associated with our foundations, because remember, Pluto is in Capricorn. Capricorn is all about top-down authority, power structures, foundations. So all of this is going to be up for review and transformation. This is a process. Pluto is going to go retrograde, I believe, the end of April, and is going to be retrograde until the first part of October 2022 and remain in shadow until late January of 2023. So needless to say, this is going to be a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. There could be some situations that make it look like there's immediate transformation, but again, it is a process. With Pluto going retrograde, there are specific dates to be mindful of, like I mentioned, Tuesday of this week. Then there's one mid-July and then another late in December. So let's just keep our eye on the pulse of political change relative to constitutional rights, perhaps, and also economics. So I will be very interested to see what comes about this year and also next year. There's another hit, I believe, in October of 2023 by the time all of this transformation takes place. But it is instigated, and probably you felt it. We've all felt it, let's be honest here. There's been a situational change, or feel like a change in our government structures for quite some time now. It's now the rubber's hitting the pavement, and now we're going to be able to see some of the transformations take place right before our very eyes. So I'm a little excited about that. It'll be interesting to see. Then on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, Mars and Venus have been traveling close together and have been will be for a little while longer. Have been for a little bit and will be for a little bit longer. And the reason for that is Venus went retrograde. And when Venus went retrograde, she slowed down. Typically, she's faster than Mars, or it tends to accelerate. That's why they're not always together. But since the retrograde cycle slowed her down, she went backwards and then forward again. She's still not fully up to speed until next week. So needless to say, the two planets will be together for a little bit longer. However, on Wednesday of this week, Mars is sextile Jupiter, and then on Thursday this week, Venus is sextile Jupiter. So Mars can be aggressive tendencies, but it's very masculine energy, and Venus is also very feminine energy. So as we see, both of the Mars and Venus are both in Capricorn, and when you see them sextile Neptune, this can be very dreamy, idealistic energy. It can be filled with compassion, just filled with compassion, but it also can be, like I said, it's very dreamy, so I don't know how grounded it would be. Please feel free to trust your intuition on these days. Neptune is in Pisces, which is very strong, as much as it is illusionary. Your intuition will not lead you astray. So just be aware. This could be very romantic, because Venus is involved here, so that's relationships and money. And Mars, again, action. You may want to take action on a new relationship or action on a new money-making idea. just be aware that Neptune in Pisces is here, so there may be some illusionary factors that come into play that I want you to be conscious of. Also, be aware of escapism on these days. Like I said, illusions. Just keep your feet firmly planted on the ground if you make decisions relative to love or money on those days. Then on Friday, we have, well, Mercury goes direct, completely out of shadow, back up to speed in Aquarius on Thursday. Then on Friday, Mercury squares Uranus. Again, Mercury is in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus. It can be very jarring, but it could be information that comes from nowhere. Also, be mindful if you're driving, because Mercury governs transportation and automobiles. Just be mindful of what you're doing, what others are doing, to avoid any accidents, small or large, on this day. But aside from that, be aware that unexpected information may come your way as a form of reality check. So somebody's checking in with you, you're checking in with somebody else, and it may feel almost forceful, but please, 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 whether you're the giving or the receiving end of this, just temper it accordingly. Whatever the situation is that you find yourself in that you feel the need to communicate about, temper it mildly, so that it can be received in a way that is open and honest. Again, we're dealing with Uranus here, so it's asking for honesty and also openness as we push something forward out of the rut that it's in. As we push it forward, it can be kind of jarring to the person who's hearing it. So just be mindful of that. Then on Saturday of this week, Saturn is going to enter shadow. All planets are going direct until the end of April. However, Pluto is in shadow now. Saturn is going to be entering shadow on Saturday, and then Neptune enters shadow right after the 1st of March. Now, these planets don't go retrograde. I think Pluto is the first one to go retrograde the end of April, but nonetheless, now's the time to strike while the iron's hot. We've got all planets moving forward. We're entering the shadow phase, which means that once the planet goes retrograde, we may review information that we're dealing with right now, or information or things that we instigate right now may be up for review in a month or two. What a great way to launch a business plan. Launch that business plan. Let Saturn and Neptune and Pluto run it through the review retrograde cycle, so that you can have 1 or 2, 3 more options before you solidify it completely for maximum optimization. So now's the time to launch, folks. If you've got any projects that you wanted to get off the ground, this is your week to do it. Actually, the next couple of weeks are good to do it, but I really like this week. Especially once we get past the Wednesday, Thursday sextiles with Neptune, and that dreamy, illusionary situations start to calm down a little bit. We've got the reality check that comes along with Mercury square Uranus. I do like launches at that time. So that's all I have for you this week. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do click the like button. And if you'd like to know when videos are being shared, click the subscribe button and you will be notified when the next video is dropped. Next week, we do have some big energy. Venus is going to leave shadow as well. We just mentioned that Mercury comes out of shadow. Well, Venus comes out of shadow next week. And there will also be a stellium of Venus, Mars, Pluto, and Vesta will all connect in the sign of Capricorn. So we'll have a very strong stellium in Capricorn early next week. And again, a new moon in Pisces next week as well. So lots of energy next week. This week, let's just sit with what we've got and work with the energy that comes our way for our greatest good and that of the collective. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you in a week. Namaste.